1 rating point for that game. Lichess should give me at least 1 for every game. Okay, that's fine. What is up next? Or who is up next? 17, 18. Wow, we're getting a lot of whites. We have 3 whites and only one black so far. Oh, oops, I forgot to play e4. So I guess we have another d4. Sorry about that. Okay, knight c3. If your opponent goes c5, one of the easiest ways to punish it is to put the knight on c3, because you're saving your c pawn to go to c3 if he ever puts a piece on d4 or b4. So knight c6, let's just go knight f3. We have a very solid position. All right, yeah, see you soon, Eric. Okay, knight f6, we get bishop to g5. And now bishop g5 has the idea of trading this bishop for this knight eventually and getting control of the d5 square. So bishop e7 doesn't really threaten much, so I'm just going to go bishop e2. And now after castles, we're just going to castle as well. And the idea is oh, what is this? This is just a pawn. My friend. Okay, it looks like my opponent might have miscalculated a bit there, or maybe he thinks he has this. Does he? Okay, he doesn't go for it. Queen b6 I don't really like, because after this capture, these pawns are going to be really weak. So not very advisable. Now the question is whether we should go b3 or a3. So both moves have their own merits. b3 cuts off this bishop's diagonal, and a3 makes sure that this knight is still pretty strong here. I think I'm going to go a3 just because if b3, he might get pressure down the c-file with rook to c8. So a3 looks like the better move if I want to mobilize this rook on a1. I'm going to do it, pawn to a3. And now there's some ideas like rook to d1, rook d2, and rook a to d1. All right, rook e8 is played, and now rook d1 is just solid. We're going to start attacking, and actually in some positions, we can establish a really nasty blockade on the queen side over here with bishop b5 and a4. So rook to c8. Okay, rook c8, and now bishop b5 is playable. Bishop b5 is definitely playable. Rook d2 is just solid. I'm just going to go rook d2 here. Yeah, rook d2, very solid. Now just rook d1 is coming. Okay, h6. So I guess the idea is if I take this knight, he takes back and has the 2 bishops. And if I go back, he wants to go knight takes e4 with a little tactic on this bishop. So I can't go bishop h4. I'm actually just going to go bishop f4 here and just target this d6 pawn. And in this position, I might even consider pawn to f3, strengthening my center and allowing my knight more flexibility to jump to b5. All right, I see we have a couple new viewers. So if you guys want to see me play anything, anything special, then just put it in the chat and I'll do it. So if there's a particular opening or variation you want to see played, I can try that out. So bishop c4, actually black's giving up his better bishop here. Black should be holding on to that particular bishop just because his pawn is on this d6 square, so this bishop is entombed by its own army. And now after f3, we're putting enough support on the e4 square, and we have bishop to d6. So lots of good ideas. And yeah, just again, let me know if there's anything you guys want to see played, and I can make that happen. Okay, bishop takes d6 is now available. Now we're just gonna go rook d1, trade off all the pieces. Okay, so he takes. Let's take back. Rook d1 is almost a pre-move, but we'll wait to see what he does. I might even just take on b6, but rook d1 is the most solid way to go because these pawns aren't going anywhere. Yeah, I'm just going to go rook d1 because I can take these pawns whenever, and I don't really want to give up control of the d file. Knight h5, very strange move. Is knight f4 coming? I can just play g3, stop his play, and then he almost has to go back to f6 if he wants to create play. So b5, b5. Now rook d5 is possible though. And this should be powerful because hitting the knight, okay, b4, this doesn't work. I can just take, he goes there, and now rook to b5, hitting the b7 pawn. And there's some ideas here of king f2, king e3, king d3. Now that the queens are off the board, we can easily just trade down and bring our king in. Rook c6. Let's trade. Trade with me. Rook b7. Now hitting the f7 pawn. And black's rook is almost trapped. If I can trap that, that'd be nice. c5 just... Okay, I can just play b5 though. Or I could take. Should I take or go b5? Okay, let's not allow any unnecessary play with rook b4 or rook takes b2. Let's just take it and snap f7 up. Now we're up, how many pawns? 4 pawns. Yeah, I see Eric suggesting b5. b5 was probably objectively winning as well. Yeah, b5 was definitely winning as well. The only thing I was thinking about was rook b4, rook takes b2. Yeah, that was the only thing I was thinking about there. Rook a5 trying to create counterplay, but rook b6 sort of stops that just because now the threat is e5. So I'll just go king g2 with the idea of jumping up to f3 or to h3. So he can take my pawn on c2, but I'll just run to h3, and now yeah, so I can take on f6 now. So black doesn't have much to do here. King here. Is he trying to mate me? Trying to create some mate threats maybe? We can just go knight e4. Rook takes f6 is coming. Very hard to stop. Okay, h5. I'll just take. Maybe b4. Yeah, tough position for our friend Iko Subek. Very tough. Just b5 is winning. He can take on e4 if he wants, but this is just going to be lost because he can't catch the b pawn. So just very concrete. b6, b7, b8. And now let's just make sure not to stalemate. Okay, he just resigns. Good game. We're climbing up. We have 12 points. 2-2-4-4. Looking good. Strong start. Let's keep it going. Let's try to win all the games, if possible. Looks like the #1 player in this arena is 1980, so if we had started at the beginning, we might have had a chance. Yeah, okay, that's all good. Let's just win as many as we can. So in this position over here, after g5, white can just play rook h1, and king g7, knight f5 wins the queen. I don't know if he sees that, but yeah. Okay, we're playing at 2045. Berserk time. Yes. I should berserk one of these games. Definitely. Okay, knight f6, just the normal Dutch. Knight c3, e6. I was mentioning this on the last stream that that there are some interesting ideas in this Dutch variation, where you just go bishop e7 and you try to play knight e4 at some point. Here it doesn't seem to be working, so I'm just going to castle. Queenside castle. Wow, my opponent is ambitious. Queenside castle. Okay, d6 seems solid, but is there some way to attack? Because I'd really love to get an attack going on the queen side. So if there's some way I can attack, I'll go for it. So maybe b5. b5 seems a little loose though. b6 is just solid, but I don't want to play like that. I want to go for the kill here. How can I do that? Will my opponent let me go c5? The idea is if d5, then I can play knight takes d5 with a little tactic, mini tactic. So for that reason, my opponent takes the knight and plays d5. Pretty smart idea. Now I don't want to take that because that'd give him way too much pressure. So I'm considering queen a5, just bring the queen over, preparing b5, and also knight a6 is an idea. So getting ready to play knight a6, knight a6, knight c7, b5, or we can just straight sack with b5. Eric says pawn rush on the queen side would be my idea, developing the process. Yeah, and that's a good idea. Pawn rush on the queen side is what we'll be going for. So now the question is, do I play knight a6 or a6? So why give him the d file? So if he took, then I'd get the c6 square for my knight, and the c6 square is super powerful. So that's the reason that I was willing to let him do that. Let's just go a6 with the idea of b5. Maybe b5 right away was possible, but this just seems solid. Okay, he opts to take. Not sure about this. Yeah, not so sure about this. Let me just put a quick message in the chat and tell people that I'm streaming in the Lichess chat. Hi guys. Okay, I hope that link works because I just typed it out. Let's see. All right. If my opponent takes on b5 with any piece, then he's sort of going to be in trouble because, okay, so queen b3. Now there are a few ideas. There's b4. There's bishop a6. Maybe even c4 is an idea. So which one should I go for? If bishop takes c3, b takes c3 seems pretty solid for him. Oh, wait. c4? Queen takes b5, bishop takes c3. Okay. c4, queen takes b5, bishop takes c3 is a nice tactic. So I'm going to play c4. Not sure if he saw it, but after queen b5, bishop c3, if he takes my queen, I take back with the bishop. And I keep the piece. So who's Mustache Master? He's nuts, LOL. Who is Mustache Master? I don't know. I'm no longer Mustache Master because I just shaved a couple of days ago. But if you're talking about me, we will have a much more full beard in a few weeks. Okay, bishop takes c4, I'll take. So he gives up a piece. And this is completely winning. Let's just convert. Bishop a6 seems strong. The thing is, how do I get this knight out? How do I get this knight out? Okay, queen b3. Queen b3. Damn, how do I get this out? Oh, maybe rook a7 is a good idea. Rook a7 looks strong. Rook a7, idea rook b7. And this is going to be powerful. Okay, he takes. Can I go rook? Wait, is he going to go e7? Rook b7, e7. Yeah, rook b7, e7. Rook takes b3. E takes f8. Takes. And he gets 2 rooks for the queen, but I'm confident that I'm winning there, so I'm just going to allow it. I hope I'm not blundering. That would suck. I should go full Viking beard mode. Yeah, I actually was in full Viking beard mode for a little while, but it was against my best interests, so I decided to shave. So now it looks like we're picking up the b3 pawn, and this just looks to be completely winning. By the way, welcome to everybody who joined. Welcome to Reppin' High 22. Great to have you here. Queen c2 picks up the rook on d1, and it's game. Good game. All right, my opponent resigns. Back to tournament. Oh, it looks like the other NM who was posting links in this chat got banned from the chat. Oh man. So I guess I shouldn't type too much about the stream, otherwise I'll get banned. Okay, we have a perfect score, 1861. Eric, let's go for Eric's e4. See if we can get something interesting. Okay, Reppin' High is new to chess. That's cool. Welcome to the stream, and hopefully you learned something. Bishop g7. So we have a modern defense. Should we just go c4? Just take up more space in the center. Keep pushing all the pawns. Okay, knight c3. Knight c6. This is a pretty interesting way to play. Yeah, this might not be as good for me as I would like it to be, unfortunately. Let's see, can I go d5? And if he goes knight e5, then I have a choice. If I want to take the knight on e5, okay, back to b8. That's so odd. That cannot be right for black. Bishop g4. Okay, I can go queen d2. And if he takes the knight, g takes f3 is just totally fine. Castles, I can go bishop h6. Let's just do that and take back with the queen. And yeah, I don't think he'll take. So he takes this, but this also isn't a very good capture because now I have h4, h5. So let's see what my opponent has in store for me. c6, h4. I'll pre-move, c takes d5. Okay, e6. I have a choice here between taking on e6 and just going h5. h5 seems strong. h5 seems really strong. So h5, e takes d5. Bishop takes g7, king g7, takes, queen h6, lots of arrows, I know. King g8, knight takes d5. That looks strong, but maybe e takes is even better. It's a tough one. Okay, I'm going to take this pawn, and the idea is now I have bishop c4 in some positions. So I could try bishop c4 right away, or just hurl h5 at my opponent. Uh, maybe he wants to rear out the knight to b6 or something. Yeah, maybe, but the knight on b6 in these positions isn't terribly good because a4, a5 can get in the way of his plans. So he takes this, and now let's sack the exchange. We have to sack the exchange. We cannot go for anything else. We got to do it. Bishop c4 now. And now the idea is castle queenside and rook to g1. Let's see if it happens. Either that will happen on the board, or we'll just not have counterplay and we'll lose. So I'm eager to find out which one of those options it is. Queen e7, just gonna castle. Yeah, maybe I have less counterplay here than I originally thought, just because he can just go king h8, and how can I continue is the question. Maybe I'll go rook h1. Okay, he takes. I'll take back. Now I have pressure on e6 too, though. Yeah, I have pressure on e6. Take that. Queen takes h5. And now at least I have some pawns for the exchange. So at the very least, I have equal material. So I'm pretty confident that I could win this endgame if the queens come off the board. Now I have a choice of rook takes d6. That's possible. Is that the best move? Rook takes d6. I guess rook to d8. Yeah, I'm not sure about rook takes d6. Maybe rook h1 is possible. Rook h1, knight d4. Yeah, my opponent's definitely getting some play here. I can't argue with that. I think bishop f5. Let's go bishop f5 with the idea that maybe we can trick him, knight d4, rook takes d4. There's rook takes f5 there. Okay, it's definitely getting messy, but this is what we want. We want a messy position. We like messy positions. Okay, rook d8. Is rook to h1 possible? Rook h1. Probably rook f7 needs to be played here. If rook f7, thinking what to do. I was thinking maybe there's some way I could get the queen out of the way, threaten rook takes h7. Not sure if that's possible. So let's try to think of a plan. Rook f7. Bishop g6 is possible. Oh wow, he takes that. Mr. El Profe is confident in his attack. Knight d4 might be played. Knight d4 though, I think I have... Ooh, there's a nice tactic here. So knight d4, rook takes h7, queen takes h7, queen f6, king g8, queen takes d8. Ooh, that's nice. Let's see if we can get that on the board. Rook h7, queen f6 would be sweet. I really hope we get that. Come on. Oh no. He spoiled my plan. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. What to do now? Knight f6 or knight d5 with the idea of knight f6 is possible. And this looks pretty promising. So rook to f7's played. Okay. I know, my evil scheme was refuted. That's okay. Queen c8 check, maybe. Yeah, not sure. Rook f7's a good move by my opponent. I have to give him credit there. Very strong move here. Okay. Can we go queen e6? I don't want to give away the advantage. Really don't want to do that. I'll drop a check, see what he does. But yeah, I have a feeling that if I can get the queens off the board, it'll be easier. So maybe I'll do that. queen g4 takes. Queen g4 takes. Rook takes f2, g5. Okay, I'm just going to go for it because I'm going to hope that my endgame skills will help me beat Mr. El Profe. I really love endgames, so hopefully I can prove myself in this one. So he does go for the endgame. Now we have g5. I think, okay, rook there. Can we go knight f6? Knight f6, and he has to go, he has to stop the threat. Welcome to everybody who joined, by the way. I see we're up a couple of viewers. So if there's anything in particular you guys want to see played, just let me know, and I'll try to go for that. Yeah, so just let me know. Okay, h6, and now rook takes h6 or g takes h6 is the question. Rook h6, king g7. I'll just show that. Rook h6, king g7, and maybe knight to h5, coming back. Oh, there's some nasty tactics. King here. Rook h7, king g6, knight f4, king takes h7, knight takes g2. That's a little complicated, but if it happens on the board, I'll show you guys. Okay, let's just take with the rook, because I think that this position must be winning. Now the question is knight h5 or knight e8. Knight e8 threatens to win all the queenside pawns, so maybe I should do that. Knight h5, also very strong, looks like. Let's just go knight h5, because the idea behind knight h5 is that we're trying to hold on to this g-pawn, and we're banking on this g-pawn. We're not saying, okay, let's go win the d6 and b7 pawns. We're saying we're going for a promotion. So rook f6. And now the next idea is g6. Should I do that? Did I play this somewhat inaccurately, maybe, because g6 is their knight e5? Maybe I have to go back. That doesn't look nice, but maybe it's necessary. Yeah, this isn't ideal. This might be a little bit of a grind to win, but we're still gonna try our best. What to do? Okay. Rook f5, safe and solid. Let's go rook f5. And now let's try to play for g6. So he goes there. King c2 runs into knight d4 check, so can't allow that. So we go king to d2, rook to h1, and now knight f4 looks strong, preparing g6. So let's do that. Rook h2, we just go king c3. So if he tries to throw in a check, we just move our king up one, and we're totally all good. King c3. All right, now I think we have g6, rook f7. Still gonna have to figure out the precise way to convert, but this looks like it's headed in the right direction. Knight e5. Can we go g6? Knight e5, g6. Okay, g6. And importantly, he doesn't have rook g2, which is the whole reason that we can go for this, because there's no rook g2. If rook h6, I think there's just g7, and that's GG if he misses g7 here. G7's a threat in the current position too, by the way. I can play g7 like immediately. All right, you guys have any fun weekend plans? Quarantine weekend plans? Let me know. Okay, rook h1. Now what? Knight d5 looks powerful, so I'm going to play it. And now g7 is the threat. Yeah, G7's a powerful threat. How is he going to deal with it? King E6. Let's say I go Rook F6, King back, G7. Okay, he's defending there. G7, tricky. Maybe Rook G5. Yeah, Rook G5. Maybe this works. Rook G5. Gotta make sure I'm not messing this one up. Oh, looks like we're down to 2 minutes, so I'll just go Rook to G5. Okay, let's not flag. Okay, yeah, G7. I was thinking G7. He could have gone Rook G1, and taken my pawn. Knight F3 doesn't seem accurate. I think I have G7. Yeah, and I'm promoting with check. So this is not the way to go for my opponent. But yeah, G7, Rook G1, and I didn't see a way to promote the pawn there. But that's definitely the first move that you should calculate, G7. All right, so we have forced promotion. And, okay, our opponent goes there. King, what's the safest square? B4 looks like the safest because there's no knight check. B4, King B4, A5, King A3, and that should be game. So A5, let's scurry back to A3. And now there are no more good checks. Black is sort of running out of options. So it takes the rook, but now I queen, and I'm picking up this knight as well, and picking up the rook. And that's all she wrote. Queen C7. My opponent might try to flag me, but I have more than a minute, so we should be good on that front. Pre-move King A4. Oh, he stops it. Okay, B4. I'll take the pawn. And we'll pre-move our way to victory. So he resigns. Good game to Mr. El Profe. So that arena is over.